Welcome back to Your Average Witch, where every other Tuesday we talk about witch life, witch stories, and sometimes a little witchcraft. This episode is brought to you by Casey's Corner. Be sure to stop by Casey's Corner for a special solstice event in December. Casey's Ko-fi offers all shop purchases, commissions, and monthly members a spin on her Wheel of Divination. Each spin will get you a reading from her via cards, runes, charms, or a roll of the dice. She's also going live on YouTube December 20th at 6 p.m. Central to celebrate the solstice and spin the Wheel of Divination. Additional spins during the live are available for $3. Casey has a variety of natural and rare oddities like exotic tarantula molts and gaboon viper fangs in her Ko-fi shop, as well as forest-themed pins and magnets to add that little bit of fairy-inspired whimsy to your life. She also offers commissions for custom fairy crowns or spell kits. Subscribing members of her Ko-fi page get an automatic 10% off all purchases, as well as an automatic spin at the Wheel of Divination for a special reading from Casey. Visit www.welcometocaseyscorner.com to learn more. This week, I'm talking with Kelli Dunaway, a tarot reader and witch in St. Louis. We talked about tarot, accessibility in witchy circles, and connection. Now let's get to the stories. Kelli, hello, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. I'm so happy to be here.
I am very excited to have you here. Can you please introduce yourself and let everybody know who you are and what you do and where they can find you?
Sure. My name is Kelli Dunaway. I am a witch. I live in St. Louis, Missouri. I'm a single mom to two tweens. I guess one's a teen now. And I have a company called Legal Witchcraft. And you can find me at legalwitchcraft.com or just by Kelli Dunaway on social medias.
Awesome. Now, the way I found you is a friend of mine posted an article about you from NPR about how you're a witch and you were a politician and in legal stuff, I guess a lawyer.
Yeah.
And now you are doing witch stuff as your income.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what the word witch means to you and how you apply that to yourself?
Yeah, actually, it's funny, Kim, because a lot of people in my life tell me that I should not use the word witch, that it's too confrontational and it has too much historical baggage, and that I'm losing out on potential clients by being a witch. And I have thought so much about this. I just can't. I am a witch because I see magic all around me. I harness the magic all around me in the plants, in the sky, in the butterflies, in the crystals, in the universe and stars and planets. I harness all of that to create the life I want and to help other people find their power. And the reason it's so important to me to call myself a witch is because that was a word that has been used historically to justify the murder and pillage and raping of powerful women who refused to conform to what the patriarchy wanted women to be and look like and sound like. And I think it's time for us to reclaim that word, reclaim the power that was negatively used and turn it into a powerful movement of love and energy and connection. So that's what a witch is to me. And that's why I call myself a witch.
Do you have feelings about the meme that says we're the granddaughters of the witches you didn't burn or couldn't burn?
I know that this is a controversial answer, but in reality, I'm a witch that was burned. I remember that life. I remember what it was like to be dragged into those flames. And so it doesn't really resonate with me because I remember burning. And I'm back to reclaim the power that was ripped out of me and thrown into flames. So I don't have as strong anti-feelings as some witches or some of the articles I see or memes or comments under the memes, but it doesn't really work for me.
That's a new swing on it.
I'll go with new.
Well, I haven't heard it before.
Yes, I love that. I hope
That's
to have
cool.
more of that for you today too.
Every interview is a new, there's always something new that I'm thinking, whoa, holy crap.
Amazing.
Do you have a consistent practice, anything that you'll share with us?
Yeah, sure. So I do have a consistent practice. I start every day. I get up and I brush my teeth and I make my coffee, and then I do what are called morning pages. This
Yes.
Oh, you know morning pages. You know the book, the author.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
But I
I
don't know that all my listeners do, because I don't know that I talked about it very much on the podcast.
Okay, well, this is from The Artist's Way, which is a 12-step program to reclaim creativity. And I did the 12-step program to reclaim creativity during the pandemic. And one of the very first things you do in this process is morning pages. So every morning you get up and you write longhand for 3 pages to just sort of empty out. I do it to empty out my brain, just to make sure that I'm starting the day clear. And after I do that, I don't write it long form anymore. I now type it into my iPad because it's faster and easier. And, I'm a modern witch. And I also pull a tarot card every day. I check a couple of different horoscopes, and I also check every morning where the moon is, which sign it's in, which phase it's in. And I try very intentionally to live my life and make my decisions and use the energy that is available within the moon phases and also astrologically. So I start my day by being intentional about what energies are available to me and thinking through how I'm going to use them to my best abilities and the best for everybody else in the day. And that's my daily routine. I also meditate to end the day. And then I also do new moon and full moon rituals, sometimes with others, sometimes alone. I pull tarot cards a lot for all of these things. And then, for the sabbats, I do rituals and practices, sometimes also alone, sometimes with others, just drawing on those energies and the ancestral power that is wrapped up in them.
How do you decide when to work with other people? Is it just when it happens to work out that way, or do you have specific things that you prefer to do in a group or with others?
That's a great question. Sometimes it's around availability of other people. There are certain moons that I want to be alone. I'm a Scorpio, and I love this week. I love a Scorpio new moon. I love the crazy energy that's so powerful and transformative right now. I like to do this alone because I can go deeper. I can really lean into my own energy and not be pulled into other people's. There are times when, maybe I'll do it alone. And if it's important to other people people in my life that are going through transformation, I could do a separate one and include them. But mostly it really just depends. If it's the energy that I feel I need on my own, then I don't share. And if it's energy that feels abundant and sharing and community driven, then I invite other people in. And of course, sometimes I get hired to come do this for other people, and I don't have space for me to do my work alone around the scheduling. So all these things, these are all factors that I take into account and try to sneak away for some private space if I can or want it. But I do feel that my purpose in life is to help other people achieve their potential. So sometimes I don't get to put me first, if that makes sense.
Oh gosh. That's neat. That's good of you.
Oh, thanks. And it's interesting you say that, because I do feel like my number one priority in life is to take really good care of my mind, body, and spirit, because if I'm good, then all my work is good, and the people whose lives I touch and the hearts that I connect with are also good. So
that goes out to everyone who is overextending themselves to help everyone else.
Yes. Yes. Put yourself first. You must.
Okay. Random question that may not go into the podcast. This morning, I've seen at least 3 other witches say, have you noticed it was on Facebook. Has anyone noticed anything weird happening this morning in nature. And I have not been outside because it's raining and I live in Arizona and it's below 60 or 70. I don't know. Maybe it's not below 60, but it's below 70 and I'm freezing to death. So have you noticed anything weird today?
I haven't noticed anything weird today. I've only been out, to take my kids to school. It's rainy and cold in St. Louis too. But what are you seeing? Like what's happening out there?
They were like the crows were acting weird and some other animal that I don't remember what she said. That
Ooh.
one. And somebody else was just like the vibe feels off, that sort of situation. I have not noticed it because I have not left my house. And my animals don't give a crap about anything. It's time to eat. So I don't know. I was just curious.
I mean, there is a new moon in Scorpio, so I always think that's a good time for everybody and everything and to get dark and transformy. So maybe that's what it is.
Ooh, yeah. Maybe it's just a soup day.
Ooh, I'll go with that.
I mean, I don't know what the crows are doing, but for me,
it's a great day for a hot soup.
What would you say is the biggest motivator in your practice? And can you compare that with your biggest struggle, like contrast it a little bit?
Yeah. So my biggest motivator, let me have a little, I think it's connection to my higher self, connection to the universe and stars, connection to other people, connection to the land and the plants. I think it's just that sense of connection that's my biggest motivator. And I think the biggest struggle really with my witchcraft practice is the daily grind, right? It's work and stress and bills and my mortgage and demands and kids and everybody needing this and that and all the things that keep me reacting instead of being more thoughtful. And so sometimes I have to just really take a deep breath and a step back out of the chaos of daily life so that I can reconnect with my magic, which I'm sure everybody out there understands that.
Yeah, real life, it makes it real hard to be magical.
No kidding. Especially now. It's like so much chaos and rage.
Terror, fear.
Yeah. Scarcity. Ugh.
So here's another random question that was not on the list, and I'm sorry that you're making my brain work.
I love it.
When you say higher self, what does that mean to you? Like, who are you talking about? Describe that person versus who you feel like right this second.
I actually love my higher self because she is all of me, but without the baggage of the daily grind. She is full of love and encouragement and so much sass. She encourages me sometimes on things that would make earthly me maybe feel a little uncomfortable or maybe even some shame. But my higher self knows no shame. I feel like she is kind of like the bridge between me and goddess or source. And I love her and she loves me and I listen to her every morning. Almost every morning. And she pops in sometimes throughout the day if I can create enough quiet and space or if I need her. But she is the best parts of me.
Well, now I wonder who mine is, what mine is like. Oh, this is so fun. Okay. Yay. I don't know what's going on. Maybe something is happening today, but it's not crows. It's just my brain working weird.
I love it.
Thanks.
Makes it more fun for me too.
Good. What would you say is your favorite tool? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a physical object. If you use music or a thought process or another person, what is your favorite tool and how do you use it in your practice?
Tarot is probably my favorite tool, and it's one that I have used my whole entire life, even before I remembered that I am a witch. I think the tarot called to me. I use it every day. I use it in the morning. I do a weekly pull. I use it for other people. I have new moon and full moon spreads, new month, birthday, all the things. But it is my number one tool. And I have a very deep meaningful connection with the tarot, and I love it. It's like an extension of me and my connection to divinity.
I'm curious about your relationship with tarot. When I do tarot, when I pull cards, I am asking my ancestors, spirit guides, whoever it is that assists me in things, not necessarily the divine with a capital D, like the universe. I am talking specifically to my guides. Who do you talk to?
I don't talk to anyone. I
Through
just,
tarot, I mean.
yeah, I mean, I feel the tarot, um, through my intuition, through my magic. I don't hear any voices, or I don't talk to anybody. And I don't, usually when I'm using the tarot, for me, it's not because I have a question in mind. It's more of a, what's today going to be like? Or, what's the energy today, as opposed to specific questions. And it really does bubble up through me, through emotions and feelings. I mean, I'm a Scorpio sun, Pisces rising. There's a lot of water in my astrological chart. And I just feel the message move through me more than I hear a voice or talk to anyone.
No, I don't hear. I just mean where is the message coming from for you?
The universe, I guess.
That might be too big for me to try to think about.
I mean, it's funny, Kim, I've actually never thought about it. So I'm going to have to, I will circle back with you. I'll have a think about it while I'm doing it, and just see what comes up.
Oh, yeah. One of the things that I do is I don't do one every morning. Or lately I haven't anyway, because I had the flu and then life is dumb. But when I do it regularly, I flip a coin to see if I'm even supposed to do a reading that day.
Oh, I love
and so I'm not like asking the universe. I'm like asking my guides, hey, is this something I need to do today, or do I just roll with it? And then I just do what they tell me.
I love it. So how often do you use your tarot then?
It was every morning, and I would do a reading because I have a Marco. Do you know what Marco Polo is?
I don't know. I don't think
it's vaguely like Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
And I talk to them every morning, to my patron group, and I used to do a card reading for them every day until I got sick, and then we traveled, and just dumb stuff came up, so I'm not doing it regularly now. But I would ask, hey, am I going to do a card reading today at all? And then ask if it's for me, and then ask if it's for the group. And so that's how I figure out, one, if I'm doing a reading at all, and two, who I'm doing a reading for.
Oh, I like that. I have separate decks. I have one for me and one for everybody else.
That makes sense. I have one that other people are allowed to touch, and then
yes,
that's not true. I have one that nobody's allowed to touch, and the other one's everyone is allowed to touch.
Oh yeah. Love that.
What deck do you use?
I use the Light Seers.
I keep hearing that. That has come up so many times lately for me.
I was at a witch store the other day, and the in-house tarot reader was using them, and the person she was reading had never heard of them before. And I was like, you are going to be delighted. Those tarot cards resonate with me more than any others I've ever used in my whole life.
At least two people in my group have brought it up in the past month.
Have you looked at the deck?
No.
It's lovely. It really
I can't let myself look at things, because then I'll have to have them, and I have enough stuff.
Yes, I understand that.
So I just close my eyes and walk away.
Oh yes, if you see them and look at them and touch them, you will buy them. So you're making an excellent choice.
Exactly. And I've already fallen in love with this other deck I don't remember. It's like Mirror Vision, I think.
Ooh.
And it's so cool. You know how it's like this refractive surface, and if you tilt the page, it turns to a different picture.
Ooh.
It's a tarot deck and an oracle deck in one. It's so cool, but it's $100.
Oh, whoa. I got to write this down. What's it called?
Mira Vision. Like mirror, but I think it's Mira, but I'm not positive. But if you Google Mira Vision, it should come up. Okay. Even if it's spelled wrong, because it did for me.
Okay, I'm definitely going to find that. That sounds
It's
awesome.
so cool. It is so cool. I got to hold one card.
Are they thick and heavy too?
They're like the sort of plastic. They're thicker than your average poker cards.
Yeah, cool.
What is something you wish people discussed more in the magical community?
Politics.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so
let's get our blood pressure up.
I know. So you mentioned at the top of the show, I used to be an elected official, and it was horrible. These are people who are not serious about solving real problems. These are petty people who are full of things that witches aren't. And I think there are so many of us that are so full of love and magic and have these ideas about how to build community and how to solve problems that I think are so powerful and could really have an impact in the world. And I get wanting to look away because it's a train wreck happening in slow motion every single day, all day long. But there's the part of me that looks at what's happening in the world and I sit back and I'm like, you know what? Let it burn. Let them burn this shit down, because guess who this world and these systems were built for? The fucking patriarchy. And that is not a place where people like us are ever going to be truly welcomed and given the tools and space to thrive. So let it burn down and let all of us who have love in our hearts and magic in our fingers get together and build a new system that has a place for everybody, where everybody can thrive, where everybody can have healthcare, where everybody can live to their potential. And I do think, I know this sounds a little crazy, but I do sincerely believe that what rises out of the ashes of what's happening now is going to be a better world, so long as people like us are willing to get our hands dirty and build it.
Phoenix that shit.
Yeah. Yes.
I get really frustrated when I go into a new witch community, whether it's a Facebook group or Discord or whatever, and there's like a big notice somewhere that says, we don't do politics here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's a witch group. Hello, who do you think we are? Where do you think we came from?
Yes, exactly. We have power, so much power, and we can do so much with it, but we got to be willing.
Actually, I am going to ask one of the questions. This is from Casey of Casey's Corner, and this actually leads into her question. So let me pull it up real quick.
Great.
So she says, if safety was not a concern, would you run for office again? And if so, is there a dream role you see yourself having the most impact in as an out of the broom closet witch?
Oh, what a great question, Casey. My gut right out of the gate says, hell no. I wouldn't. And it's for all the reasons I just, these are people who are not serious about solving problems. Now, I was in local politics, and it's a little different in local politics. But if you think about who's at the top of politics, it's the cream that rose from the bottom where I was. And that's not good cream.
I don't know if I'd call it cream.
It's
gross. Like the stuff you find floating at the top of a swamp.
That's exactly what it is the stuff floating at the top of the swamp. That's who's in politics. And in the current system, there is no place for me. However, depending on what the Phoenix looks like, there may be a place for me. And I did just see an article. I didn't have time to read it because I just got it this morning, but it's on the rise of spiritual democracy. Now that might be a place where I would hang a hat, but TBD. spiritual democracy. Doesn't that sound fascinating?
Oh, my brain's like veering off into like whatever class that was that I took about politics that I don't want to think about right now.
Well, we can circle back and do a whole show on
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now here's something I'm really interested. I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Oh, I was just like witches in politics in my head, like is drifting off into the sky. I love this idea.
Well, it's not meant for, it's the way it is now anyway, isn't made for us. I completely agree because I don't present as a white cis Christian man who happens to have millions and millions of dollars.
Exactly.
So nobody gives a crap about what I have to say other than shut up.
Right. Or land.
Go have a baby and make me a sandwich.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And stop talking so much.
Yeah. Maybe don't think.
Not going to work for me.
So have you are way more in the public eye than I have ever been. But what steps have you taken where you live, not just on the internet, which is where I live, in actual real life where you can reach out and pluck a piece of lint off someone's shirt? What steps have you taken to build community and to build some sort of, not a coven, but a community of witches who are willing to get together and interact as witches, maybe work together, maybe just discuss things?
Well, I have to say, Kim, I was very lucky because when I remembered that I am a witch, my closest friends were like, "Oh, yes, we are definitely in for this journey." And so they probably all consider themselves witches now. And they have been along for the journey, both as, riders in the car, but also really supportive. A lot of my crystals and books and tools and all candles, so much comes from from the supportive people in my life. And when I do rituals where other people are invited, I am always inviting people who have never engaged in witchcraft or have never put intentionality into ritual outside of like a church setting or, Girl Scouts. And I find that people that participate in my rituals, whether they consider themselves spiritual or not, are genuinely moved. And their spirit wakes up in the moment of the ritual. They participate. There's tears. I have been able to build some community just by reaching deeply into my first circle of connection. And then they help me reach into the second and third tiers of connection. I also took, some tarot classes here in St. Louis with other witches. I try to meet other witches and spend time with them in a low stakes kind of environment. I'm not much of a social media poster, if I'm being honest. I don't do a lot of that. I want to, but I still have PTSD from my politics days. And so
I can only imagine.
Oh God, it's so bad. People were, but I feel like the more I get to know people and the more I talk more openly about the spiritual work I do and how tarot can be such a deep mirror for people to awaken to their own desires, I'm getting a lot more people around me and in my orbit and asking for my services than I ever imagined. It's kind of dreamy, actually.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it feels really good too.
That is so neat.
Thank you.
It almost makes me want to leave my house.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. Not if it's cold and raining.
Yeah, gross. No. Think about the 3 biggest influences on your practice, whether it's people or a pet or a book you read once, and thank them for the influence they have on you and your practice.
Oh, I love that. The goddess Isis is a huge influence for me. She is the Egyptian, basically the mother goddess, like the OG goddess of motherhood and creativity and life. I have an Egyptian soul. I can't explain it more than that, but the Egyptian goddess Isis has always been with me, and she holds me when it's dark and when I'm scared, and she fills me with joy and light when things are great. Love her. And I'm so grateful for her. And I thank her all the time. And I will thank her again right now. Thank you so much. The High Priestess tarot card is another huge influence for me because that's me. I have, the magician has all the tools, but it's the High Priestess that takes the tools and uses them for connection. And that is what I feel like I do. And so I want to emulate that. I want to be that for the people who are seeking healing from me. And then finally, as a third, and also like, thank you, High Priestess card all day, every day. Thank you. And then Raven is my higher self. She presented as a Raven, and she is, sometimes I can feel her wings wrap around me when I'm sad or feeling bad. But she, my higher self Raven, who's always with me, always ready to walk with me into trouble or walk away from problems or re-armor up and go in. She is always with me, and I am always grateful for her. Thank you for asking that. That's a great question.
I love that you thanked a tarot card. That's cool.
Man, that High Priestess, she's a good one.
Okay, here is another question from Casey. As a fellow Swiftie, I saw that you attended an Eras Tour concert and wondered how witchy the energy was in the room as compared to community rituals you may have experienced with your local witch community.
Ooh.
Do you use Swift songs in your witchcraft? And if so, which one makes you feel the most witchy?
Ooh, I love that. So I do like Taylor Swift for sure. And, but I'm not the Swiftie. I'm the Swiftie's driver.
Yeah, I'm not a Swiftie either.
We went to the Nashville show at the very beginning of the Eras tour. My daughter and I, she was maybe 10 or 11 at the time. And there was a lot of power in that football stadium. It's all women, and it's all women who are empowered, or they wouldn't be at a Taylor Swift concert. I felt a lot of magic and power, and it rained and it was crazy and beautiful. And that was a moment I will never forget. I mean, that Taylor Swift can put on quite the show. How that relates to the rituals I do at home, or out in the community with others, I think there's no comparison, because what makes the rituals I lead so beautiful and so powerful is the vulnerability that of women opening up, admitting their darkest, deepest desires, really talking through challenges, and being completely honest with themselves and this other group of people that is holding space. So different kinds of power, but my preferred power is the quiet power that is born in vulnerable people sharing.
So your soundtrack is the sound of witches speaking.
It is.
The voice of a witch. Oh, I love it.
It really is too, because there's people ask me this when they come to my house all the time. I live in silence. I rarely have the TV on. I don't have music playing. It's just silent here, because into that silence, into that quiet is where my magic is the sparkliest.
That is cool. And not at all how I work.
Ooh, what do you do? Tell me.
Honestly, if I am actively involved in something, that I won't have music playing, but I do play music to get myself hyped up for it. And it's usually I don't know, Florence and the Machine, Aurora, Pussifer. Who else do I listen to? A lot of EDM, honestly.
Me too. Oh my gosh, it's so good. If I'm going to jam, that's what I'm jamming out to.
My group, my hive house of bees, it's today. Today's Jupiter Day. Every Thursday we do a little dance, and we're shaking our ass for Jupiter to ask him to help
Ooh,
give us prosperity through the week.
I love that. And I just had my solar return reading done yesterday, and my astrologer recommended that I spend the next year building a deep relationship with Jupiter. So I'm going to do that today on
She's
Jupiter.
great. Burn you a blue candle, put on some butt shaking music, and bounce around.
I'm doing it. Thank you.
Who do you think, now that you've talked to me and seen how these questions go and how the conversation tends to go, who do you think would be fun for me to have on the show?
Okay. So I think you should talk to Jade Moore. She is the witch who owns and operates a store in St. Louis called Sincerely the Craft. She sells crystals and candles and all the witchy stuff. And she also teaches classes. She taught my tarot class that I took. And she is just really interesting. Her background is fascinating. She's former military.
Yay!
Yes. Oh my gosh, you have to talk. And she is just so bright and loud and beautiful. And the energy she brings is like nothing you will ever experience. So 2 giant thumbs up for Jade Moore.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad you asked that.
Is there anything else you wanted to bring up? Anything going on with you that people can come see you at an event? Do you want to give out your socials? Any coupon codes, or did you have any questions for me? What is your current pet project at the moment?
Well, my current pet project is building a cohort. And I'm not exactly sure when it's going to start or what it's going to look like when it comes together. A few times a year, I'll do a cohort that's 6 months of manifestation. And so I'm working on one that's going to be a little bit different, and that will start at some point in 2026. Very excited. If anybody has any ideas or anything you'd like to see, I'd love to hear about that. I'm also going to do next year in 2026 a series, like a Witchcraft 101 series. It'll be virtual. It will be free. And we'll just do, the 10,000 foot view of different pieces of a witchcraft practice. And also, if anyone's interested in participating in that or has ideas or things you'd like to learn about, I would love to hear from you. You can visit my website at legalwitchcraft.com. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as Kelli with an I Dunaway. And I am if anybody is interested in a tarot reading, if you mention that you heard me here, I'll do a full hour and 15 minutes, which is partial tarot, partial coaching, because I'm a certified executive coach, for $100. So special for your listeners.
Neat.
Yay. And, I'm always trying to get out and do more. And when I see things that interest me, I do post. I want to get better at that. I have a Substack also called Legal Witchcraft. So that's where you can probably get the best information. It's more of like personal essay, kind of how I incorporate magical tools into my life and practice. But again, there I'm always looking for, if you want to learn about something or anything, please just hit me up whenever, wherever. I love talking about witchcraft. I love researching and learning new things. So if anybody wants my help learning something new, I'd love it. Just reach out anytime.
Make sure you don't go down to the description, because there will be links in the description for all of this. So go click, everyone.
Yes.
I'm ordering you officially. Go click.
Click, click, click.
So I have 2 questions for the end. Thing number 1 is not really a question. I guess it kind of is. Anyway, please recommend something to the listeners. It doesn't have to be witchy at all. Just whatever cool thing you found this week that you called someone and said, hey, you should try blah, blah, blah. Tell them that's what I would like you to recommend.
You know what? I'm actually going to recommend that everybody read this. I haven't even read it yet, but I'm super excited about it because, I feel like politics is burning down and something new is going to have to go in its place. Let's all learn about spiritual democracy, because this could be the beginning of something very special. And I'm very excited about it. I'll probably do a blog post about it, and I will have this on social media by the time you have me on your podcast.
Hopefully I remember to do a link to
Oh, I'll send it to
that.
you. How about that?
Okay. And the second thing is, please tell me a story. It doesn't have to be witchy either, but it can be. But it's basically the sort of story that you tell on the porch when you're just hanging out with people and somebody says, remember when, and then there's a story. That. But if you don't want to tell one of those, you can tell one from childhood that you heard as a child that you just love.
So I'm going to tell a story about my daughter, Bella, who's this old soul. I don't know what happened. I died young in my last life or something, because this kid should be the mom, not me. But I have a disability. I was in a really bad car accident when I was in high school, and I broke my back in 2 places, and I've limited mobility from the waist down. Pretty good though. Like, I'm in a much better shape than many people, but I wear braces on my legs, and I never wear shorts because my legs are gross. So it was a really hot day. My daughter was probably 6. So this was, 7 years ago. We're sitting in my room. She's dressed for school. I'm getting dressed, and I'm sweating. I'm pulling on pants. And she says, "Mommy, why don't you wear shorts?" And I'm like, "Oh, Bella, because these braces on my legs, and just my legs look like sticks. I can't. I don't want people to look at me and feel like I'm less of a person. It just makes me feel bad about myself." And she was quiet for a moment. And then she looked up at me and sort of tilted her little head and says, "Mommy, why would anyone think less of you because your body doesn't work like theirs?" And, from the mouths of babes is what they say. That moment for me was so profound, because she's right. Like, why do I care if other people think I'm less of a human because my body doesn't work like theirs? And I think, Kim, that was the beginning of a very long journey for me, because I learned very recently that 83% of people with disabilities acquired their disability in their life, meaning only 17% of people with disabilities were born that way. And if 83% of people are developing a disability into a world that actively discriminates and dislikes and is mean to people with disabilities, what does that say about how I feel about myself and those 83% of other people that develop a disability in their life? It means we're waking up in a world that hates us. And I think when I heard my daughter say those words of, "Why would anybody think less of you?" it put me on this journey of making sure that I am proud to be a successful person with a disability. And it is part of my job and part of my fate and part of my purpose to help other people with disabilities find joy and get out of that headspace where we hate ourselves as much as society hates us. And so, very short story with a very long soapbox. But it was just such a powerful moment. And it's one of the stories that I love to retell to myself over and over again, because my brilliant daughter changed my life with a few little words. And I am so grateful to her and all the things I've learned since then about what it means to be an empowered, powerful person with a disability.
What a good kid. Good job.
She's such a great kid. How did I get so lucky?
Now, the part that makes me kind of nervous. Will you craft a spell with me?
I would love to craft a spell with you. So what do you need? What do you need? What's going on?
Okay, so I am a dirt witch, and I go outside and pick crap up off the ground when it says, "Hey, you can use me for the thing you're trying to do." And I live in the desert, and there are a bunch of cactus in my yard, and I have some western sage, which is not white sage. It's just a kind that grows here in Arizona. and in the Southwest. And I have creosote and just various things that grow in my yard and different kinds of rocks. And I have animals around. Plus, I have a huge room full of random witchcraft because, like I said, if I see something that I pretty much take it home. So usually I'll think of what my intention is and then just wander around until something says, hey, use me in XYZ way. That's how I do it.
So funny story. Like, that's how I do it too.
Okay, yay.
So like, it's hard to craft a spell without an intention. And also, I grow most of my own herbs. I'm still using some that I had to buy at the very beginning. And also, it takes a long time to grow a garden and for it.
Yeah, you got to have stuff established.
Exactly. And that takes a few years. So I have lavender and rosemary and sage and just coming out of my ears.
You can grow lavender.
I know I can. I can grow lavender. And it's the French lavender, the really good smelling stuff. I love it. And so almost all of my spells have some combination of those ingredients. But that's what
that's another question I could ask. Who are your go-to herbs?
Yeah, I love that. That's a great question. Because it all depends on where we live, right?
Yeah.
Because you're going to have a very different basket of herbs than I am.
Cool. Anyway, what is our intention going to be?
I don't know. What are you hosting Thanksgiving? I
am not.
Ooh.
Hallelujah. I don't actually celebrate Thanksgiving. I wait. My thing that I do eat a lot because I'm a Taurus and I love some food and I love cooking fancy stuff. So I do have a fancy meal, but my day is spent watching Mystery Science Theater 3000, the Turkey Day marathon that they do every year.
Ooh. So how come do you not do Thanksgiving? Because it's really just appropriation.
I grew up with the closest grandparents and family being pretty Christian. My granddad was a minister and I just can't deal with all that.
Yeah.
And my family stressed me out and they live on the East Coast and I live in Arizona.
Hey.
And that is by design. So
yeah.
I just can't deal with all that. I don't like leaving my house, even to go get a snack with other people. And I'm pretty picky about what I'm eating if it's this sort of ritualistic thing, which it has become for me. So that I don't do that.
Yeah, no.
That's a very long way to say, no, I don't do Thanksgiving.
Well, it's great. You get a free day off, 2 of them. So nice. So,
but do you?
Yes, and I host.
Well, then let's do one for your hosting.
Okay. Let's see. If my intention is for everybody to have a great Thanksgiving, I generally also don't do spell work for other people. It's really about me and what's within my ability to control or to invite in. But that being said, I think...
To hear more of the members-only episode, head over to crepuscularconjuration.com. The monthly magic tier will give you access to the monthly Magic Marco Polo group, the private Facebook group, and access to the written monthly spells. There's also Crepuscular Conjurations, giving you bonus podcast episodes, coloring pages, guided meditations, spellcrafting videos, printable downloads, and a lot more. The free Witchy Wonderment level will give you a little sample of everything I just mentioned. You can also visit my shop, Clever Kim's Curios, to get spell boxes one at a time or by monthly subscription, intentional handcrafted jewelry that I make especially for witches, and handmade altar tools. You can even listen to the full Your Average Witch podcast library, including show notes and transcripts. Check it out at crepuscularconjuration.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of Your Average Witch. You can find us all around the internet on Instagram at Your Average Witch Podcast, Facebook.com/groups/Hivehouse, at www.youraverageWitch.com, and at your favorite podcast service. If you'd like to recommend someone for the podcast, like to be on it yourself, or if you'd like to advertise on the podcast, send an email to youraverageWitchPodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next Tuesday.